Good morning and welcome to Harbor Highlights.
Happy Tuesday. We have a short announcement for you today.
We have a follow-up on our mindset lesson of the month.
We also have a local example of someone showing amazing grit and overcoming obstacles. This and more, so stay tuned.
Good morning, I'm Dominic.
And I'm Makai. Start out our show today. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Many students attend the audition workshop last week for Seussical the Musical.
Trials will be Tuesday for the dance audition. Then Wednesday or Thursday will be individual auditions depending on what time you signed up for. Friday and the next Tuesday will be callbacks.
A special thank you to Student Council, leaders of the 21st century, and Calling All Colors for putting in some amazing work to decorate our school for Valentine's Day.
There are many great reminders in the hall about how we can show kindness to others.
Now over to this week's general announcements.
Hi, I'm Maddie.
And I'm Danny. This week's lunch specials are Tuesday cheese-filled ravioli, Wednesday is French toast with sausage.
Thursday beef and cheese nachos, and Friday is Italian beef with pepperoni calzone. The next knitting club meets next Monday, February 26.
After-school tutoring meets Monday through Thursday in the 7th grade lab until 3:25. Calling All Colors meets this Wednesday. Sign Language Club meets Thursday.
If you receive a permission slip for the Adventure School outing, 7th graders turn them into Mr. Hardy and 8th graders can give them to Miss Harrington.
Tuesday, the 27th of February, there is a required meeting for any 8th grader going on the Washington, D.C. trip.
The meeting is at Mac Bay from 7 to 8 to go over the final trip plans.
Our mindset lesson this month is focusing on reaching your goal by making a plan.
Your plan requires hard work and a lot of grit.
Grit is courage to persevere and stay on the course no matter what obstacles come your way.
Miss Montgomery is a great resource at our school to teach us about grit. Some students had the opportunity to talk to her. Let's find out what they learned.
I'm here with Ms. Montgomery to interview her about her mindset lesson this month on working hard to reach your goal with grit. What is grit?
Grit is doing everything and anything that you can to accomplish a goal.
How do you practice having grit?
I would say in order to have grit, you need to get rid of the excuses. Oftentimes people who have excuses for reasons that they can't do something, those excuses get in the way. So I think in order to have grit, that would be the number one thing, is get rid of the excuses and take action. Set goals, write them down, and take action. And again, I think believing in yourself and stop telling yourself the reasons that you can't do something really would be a way to practice grit.
Can you share an example of a student at Harbor Lights using grit?
Absolutely. One student that comes to my mind is a 7th grader who really has struggled for the most of his 7th grade year, but recently decided that he was going to make some changes. And this young man daily asks questions in the classroom. He goes in at his lunch hours to ask for help and to get his homework done. This young man definitely shows grit here at school by doing whatever he can to do the best he can here with his grades and his behavior here at Harbor Lights.
Does everyone have the ability to be gritty?
Absolutely, everyone has the ability to be gritty.
What are obstacles in life where you need to have grit?
I think in all aspects of your life you need to have grit because life has its challenges, it has its ups and downs always, and grit is something that you need to have in your daily life, at home, at school, at your job, because it's not always easy.
An example of where you dealt with failure or obstacles and had to have grit?
Yeah, in school for me, math was always really, really hard. Started getting really hard for me in 6th and 7th grade, and I failed my math class. I failed it miserably, 7th grade, 8th grade. But I also, at that time, chose to not believe in myself, and I also chose to not really work towards it. I just kind of gave up. So I had to learn to get gritty when I got into high school and even into college, and I had to put a whole lot of work into math because it was really hard. But by putting in the time and the effort and the work, I was able to, get through math and make it through college. But again, it was really, really hard, but worth it in the end.
Three basic things students can do to practice being gritty and stick to a plan to reach a goal.
I think the first thing students need to realize and recognize is that they're worth it. Students are worth the work and the effort, and I think one thing that is helpful to myself and to students would be to set a goal, but not only to set a goal, but to write it down. And not just write it down and put it away, but review that plan and reflect on it. What's working, what's not, what do you need to change? And again, get rid of the excuses and start taking action. And believe in yourself, because you're worth it. And when you do decide to put in that time and effort that's necessary to accomplish a goal, you then will find that your self-worth, your self-respect, your opportunities, the freedoms that you have available to you are worth it in the long run.
Thank you, Ms. Montgomery. We have many examples in our school of students who have practiced grit. Maybe it was studying for a test, practicing for a game, improving keyboarding, or computer coding skills.
Grit is a skill that acquired through repeating practice, so by practicing grit, you could become more gritty.
Now over to sports.
Hi, I'm Grace.
And I'm Maddie. We will start with girls basketball. The white team Wednesday against Holland Christian and Thursday against Mona Shores. Both are at home.
The black team Tuesday home against Jenison and Wednesday away at Hudsonville.
Boys swim and dive challenge Hamilton in their home meet this week.
Wrestling is away Thursday at Lakeshore Middle and Saturday is West Otto Invitational.
If you are in ski and snowboard club, please sign up for the bus by noon on Thursday to go on the trip Friday.
Last year, Wood TV8 reported a pretty amazing student from Zeeland who was overcoming all odds to reach his goals. Here's how his grit and persistence went against all odds.
High school junior Jared Hart. He's on the track team at Zeeland West High School and runs the 1,600 and 3,200 meter runs. This is video from this afternoon's big meet against Zeeland East. Jared's pretty easy to spot. He has arthrogryposis, so he was born without joint contractures. 1 in 3,000 children are born with this condition, and in Jared's case, it impacts his wrists, elbows, knees, and ankles, so he has to run with braces on both legs, and he runs fast. His time in the 1,600 meter, remarkably, 5 minutes 53 seconds. That is a sub-6 mile.
I kind of just grew up, and it's like I got to stay active. I get bored quickly, and I want to be doing something most of the time. Like, boring weekends for me are kind of no fun, and it's just, I like going out and experiencing new things, and it's just enjoyable.
I've always tried to treat him as a normal kid, but yes, he kind of amazes me at times on the things he's able to do, and kind of blows my mind when he can do something I didn't expect. So nothing really limits him. I think the only thing we've ever held him out of is contact sports.
I think of it as I'm a normal person. I just do things differently. I try just as hard as everyone else, and if I have to do something different, I will.
We would love to share more stories like this one, especially in our Harbor Lights family.
If you have a story to share about your grit, email or talk to Ms. Postma.
Thanks for watching our show.
Have a great week.
Bye.